everybody, welcome back to my channel and to another video. I hope you are all really well. In today's video I am going to be explaining to you how to deal with the problem when you go through to make it that all of your project is all jumbled up and not in the order that you want it to cut when it's on your design screen. So without any further ado, let's jump straight on into the video. Here we are then in Cricut Design Space with a brand new empty blank canvas that I'm going to put my design on in a moment, and then I'm going to share with you how to fix the problem which occurs when you go through to make and your letters or your design, whatever you've got on your screen, has all jumbled up and is all mixed up and is not going to cut how you want it to cut. So obviously when you make a new design you're going to start off with a blank canvas. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on there what I need for this particular design. So I'm making a balloon that says happy 21st birthday Frankie. So I am going to pop that up into the centre. I'm going to change my font to Brittany's signature because that's usually what I use for balloons. Actually, let me take a quick look at October. Can't even remember what it's called now. October. Hello October. I quite like this font actually. The only trouble with this one is for some reason it comes out like this. So what you have to do is just ungroup everything and then group it all back together in separate lines and bring it up to where you want it to be. So it's a pretty quick fix, but it's a bit of an annoying one. Usually if I'm going to use this font, what I do is type it all onto one line and then I just pull it all out from there. Anyway, I digress ever so slightly. So I've got my design on the screen. This is what I'm going to make. So let me just arrange it so that it is roughly centered. I'm going to move that S and the T away very slightly because I don't want them to be touching my number one. Okay, I'm happy with that as it is right now. So what you'll find now then is if I am ready to go through to make on this design, I'm going to click on this green make button at the top. Now it looks brilliant the way it is, doesn't it? It looks fantastic. The layout's perfect. It's exactly what we want it to look like. So let's go through to make. I'm not going to save it because I'm probably not going to need this design again. There we go, and there is the problem. Now some people I have seen are literally cutting their project like this and then they are rearranging it. I don't even know how they're rearranging it when they get to put it onto whatever it is they're putting it onto. You don't need to do that. It's super simple to fix this problem. So let's click on cancel. What we're going to do is come up here to the layers panel first of all, and I'm going to familiarise you with this. So if you want something to cut all in one piece, you want to make sure that you only have one layer over here on the right hand side in this layers panel. And as you can see at the moment we've actually got 3 groups, and we can click on these little arrows and we can drop those down and we can see what those groups are made up of. So each group is made up of every single letter individually, so you can see them all there, and that's not what we want to be seeing. If we want to make this design as it is there, we need to make it all cohesive and basically stick it together. So that's what we're going to do. So let's just zoom in a little bit on this one, and I'm actually going to select it and make it the size that I want it to be for my balloon. Now I am going to make sure that none of my letters, none of my lines are touching, and that will be absolutely brilliant. So we've got that there for now. What I'm going to do is select all of that. Let's just make it a tiny bit bigger, I think, because it's a plain bubble I'm going to be using this on today. What I'm going to do now is come down to the bottom here to this combine menu. So if I click on the combine arrow, we're going to get this another little menu pop up, and then that gives us some options. The 2 that we are interested in for fixing this problem are weld, which is the top one, and unite. So if I click on weld, weld is going to merge 2 or more separate shapes into a single shape. As you can see, the little explanation comes up if I hover over that word weld. This action cannot be undone. That's not entirely true. If I weld it now and then I think, oh no, I'm not happy with the placement of that Frankie at the bottom, I can undo. I can undo once I've done this weld. If I carry on doing different bits, adding different things to my design, putting images in or changing the fonts, blah de blah, on new stuff that I'm adding to the design, what you'll find is that you will need to press undo multiple times until you get back to undoing that weld. So basically all of your work that you've then done will be undone because you've got to go back through your undo till you get to that weld. If you think I might not be finished with this design, I might want to change the layout, or I might want to put 21st a bit closer to happy, or I may decide I'm not quite happy with it, what you need to do is choose unite. Now basically unite does exactly the same thing as weld. However, you can undo unite whenever you want. So I could save this project and I could go off, make 10 other balloons, and then think, oh actually I'm going to go back and do that 21st Frankie now, but then I've decided I want to change some stuff on it. But because I've saved it and I've done other things, my chance to undo a weld has gone. But with unite it's still there. So what I'm going to do is click on unite and show you exactly what I mean. So that is now united, and as you can see in the layers panel on the right hand side, it's turned into one layer, one basic cut. If I click on that, it's still got everything under it, but it is going to cut as one layer, and I'm going to prove that to you. So I'm going to go through to make. There it is, layout perfect, exactly how we want it to be. I'm not going to have to faff about pulling off different letters and sticking them back together where they should be. Everything is joined together, and also this is a cursive font, so it has kerning. Now kerning is when your letters are joined to one another, and sometimes I also see this is an error that people get because they haven't welded or they haven't united, where they'll have a cut line here and here, for instance, where those letters are joining to one another. But because we've used weld and we have used unite, those are gone, and the kerning as well is perfect. Let me go back now and cancel that, and I'm going to show you how we can still undo this unite. So if I select that design again, I'm going to come down to combine again and click on there, and now you can see that all of the options are greyed out already. So we can't weld, we can't unite, we can't subtract, we can't intersect, and we can't exclude. But what we can do is undo unite. So if I click on that, that's back to normal now, how it was before with our 3 individual grouped layers. So that is how you fix that problem. I am going to go ahead and I am going to weld this because I'm happy with how it is, and I am going to make this and pop it onto a balloon now. Another time when you might find that your project is jumbled up is if you have got an image like this one, for instance. And this is just a really simple example of this. So you can see that this is exactly what we want to cut out, but we've got different colours incorporated in this design. So when we go through to make, what we are going to find is that our hair is one layer, we have got the troll as another layer, and then this bottom layer we've got troll and don't care. Now if I quickly just go back to the design, you can see we want the troll and the don't care to be separate but not next to each other like they are on the mat. We want them to be on top of one another with the gap in the middle for the hair. So how do we do that? Again, in the layers panel on the right hand side we have a group. If we click on this, we can drop that down and see all of the different layers there. Now, each different layer is all one layer on its own, and that represents each different element which is in this design. So what we need to do is attach together the 2 colours that we want to cut so that they are going to be like this with the gap and then the don't care at the bottom, if that makes sense to you. So what we need to do is come over to our design. We want to ungroup everything first, so we're going to click on ungroup, and now that group has disappeared and we just have 4 separate layers. They're green at the moment because they're all selected. If I click on the white portion of the canvas, it's going to unselect them and they are all just white now in the layers panel. So what we can do is hold down our shift key, come over to the one layer that we want to fix, click on it, and then you can see that's highlighted. Then come down to the other layer that we want to fix and click on that. So now those two are selected here. You can see it's just those two because they are green. It does look a little bit like hair is also selected when you look at it on the canvas, but it isn't. It's just because that dialog box has stretched down to hold both of those pieces of work there. What we're going to do now is, whilst we are still holding down shift, is come down to the bottom and click on attach. Now you can see that that layer has disappeared into another sub layer called attach. So if I click on that, you're going to see that those two layers are now under there together. So that is like an umbrella over those two layers, holding them together. And then the other two layers, the hair and the troll, are still separate at the bottom here. So let's go through to make, and we have got the first mat which has got hair on it. Let's quickly skip to the third one which has got the troll on it, and then the second mat is absolutely perfect. It's going to cut the troll at the top and the don't care at the bottom. Then when we're making it and we're sticking this vinyl onto whatever we're putting it onto, it's going to make it so much easier for the placement. We can put our troll on the side and our hair in the middle, and it's going to look absolutely fantastic. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, I would love it if you give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and I will see you soon for another video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.